Okay, so what we have here is the Pruveeo Dash Cam, and if you've ever been looking for a dash cam that records in 4 directions, this is probably the one for you. I come from a dash cam user that likes the capacity type, the ones without batteries in them. I've been particularly using the Pruveeo A119. I've had every version that they've ever had, but I wanted to branch out and go with this one to see what it could do because I wanted to have multiple angles, especially inside the cabin. This one boasts that not only will it view forward and side to side, but also has a review camera. So this video is a review on this. We're gonna unbox it first, see what we have in here. So looks like they packaged it very well. Placed in this nice bag here, and they've covered up all the lenses, so protect those. Overall, it looks like a very good camera. You have your front-facing camera, which can be moved if you need a small amount of adjustment to get in the right view. You have these side-to-side cameras, which could be tilted in every direction, including left and right. And then you have a large viewing area to view each camera if you want to view it on the camera. I prefer to take the card out and view it on the computer, but each to their own. If you get into a wreck or you need to see the footage immediately to show someone, then the screen's going to be helpful for you. Let's dig further into the box, see what else is here. Okay, looks like, at least for right now, you can get a 3-year warranty added on to what you already have, which is cool. You have the option of purchasing the 3-year warranty through third-party sites. I chose not to do that. I typically don't do that with electronics unless it's a high-dollar electronics. I choose to go ahead and just save my money. If I need to buy another one, I'll buy another one. Got a manual, which to my surprise, I noticed that it's only written in English. I thought that was interesting. I don't know if English is not your first language, that may be an issue to you. But I looked at this and I was like, well, it's a thick book and there's probably other languages in here. That's the reason why it's a thick book. There's probably very little to read about how it's used. But once I flipped through it and realized that the entire thing is written in English, I realized that there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. You have a charging cable, which I thought was interesting. It does not have a USB port right here. It is plugged directly into the plug, so if this ever gets damaged, then you're going to need to make a complete new replacement. It's very important that the plug itself has an output of at least 3 amps because the camera will need 2 amps to be able to run. So that's important that if you do need a replacement, that you get the correct replacement. For me, it's not really a big issue. I have direct plug-in to my vehicle, but for my other vehicles, if I just need to move the camera from one to the other, then this extra cord is nice to have. I can plug it in any vehicle on the fly and it works. You get a suction cup mount with this, which I've already tried it on the vehicle. It works very, very well. It seems to secure the camera to the vehicle's windshield without any issues. Doesn't seem to come off. Now, one thing that I did find that was a bit aggravating, with the curvature of the windshield, you don't get a lot of play with this. It only has an up and down adjustment and no ball that allows you to adjust it just right. So in post edit, you may have to go back and re-edit the viewing of the video, because it may be tilted to one side or the other. I had to be very careful to try to align this to the middle of the windshield, which in my case, in some vehicles, I guess you could probably align it directly in the middle of the windshield and it wouldn't get in your field of view. But I found that the camera, especially this size of a camera, it was impeding my view of vehicles coming on and off the freeway. So in some of the vehicles I have to put this camera almost to the passenger side, since no one sits there anyway. I placed it on the passenger side and then just made sure I was able to tilt this in the right direction so that the video wouldn't be, let's see if I can position it like it was on the windshield. So with the curvature of a window, it was almost like this and maybe down a little. So you have to adjust this to where it's at the right angle, but see, it mounts to the windshield like that. So it's important to make sure you adjust this little aperture as far to the left as you can, and maybe a little bit down so that it would adjust just right and that the video would be level. But it doesn't, I mean, that's just the way it works in my application. It may not apply to you. You also have a 3M mounted mount in case you want to make a permanent application to your windshield. You also have that option. Comes with clips to route the cord in or around the windshield, which again, in my case, it's already hardwired into the vehicle. I've already mounted a cord that goes in behind the windshield and the plastic fittings around it. This is probably my favorite part of the whole thing. I was expecting a clip-on aperture, a clip-on ND filter. I made sure I got this model in particular because it came with an ND filter. I've used ND filters in the past with dash cams and found them very, very useful when it came to video quality. It does reduce the amount probably at nighttime, but during the daytime it reduces the glare. It's well worth it. But this in particular is different than any other ND filter I've ever used with a dash cam. This one will fit over it as such, and it has a set screw that you tighten down on that. But here's the cool part. I'm able to screw this ND filter right onto that. So let's say this ND filter is too dark for my application. I should be able to find a 37mm size ND filter as a replacement that I can just screw onto this. Or if, let's say, it's too light, then I can do the same. But having the option to be able to change this out and purchase other ND filters that maybe work better in my application, I find that very important for this camera. Alright, this looks like the review camera. I haven't tried this yet. We'll show you what the review camera looks like later, but all this does is it mounts to whatever bracket, whatever place. If you want to place this right above your license plate, maybe above your rear window, maybe even inside the vehicle, shining through the rear window. But this cord is definitely long enough to go from the rear window to your front camera. And it does not unplug. Okay, I was reading in the manual and I don't see it here. That's strange. So the manual says that there is a power wire that comes off of this camera, and I'm just not seeing it on this model. But it allows you to tie into your brake, your backup lights, so that the view from this can be seen through here, and it has the backup guidance lines so that this can be used as your backup camera. I don't see Maybe I'm just not seeing it, but I don't see anything else. Maybe, oh, it does unplug. Okay. That looks very delicate. I have to be careful not bend those points when putting that back. There are three lines here, which indicates that maybe there's some other features that I'm not seeing. We'll try this out soon and find out what else and be able to tell you. This little screwdriver here allows you to mount the ND filter on it. Like I said, it has a set screw, and you just tighten that down. Make sure it's flush with your lens, and of course take the plastic protector off, but we'll get to that point. In this particular model, it did come with a 256 gig SD card. Now this is the card that they recommend that goes with this camera. I don't think it's fast enough. I did try to view the videos directly from this card on my laptop. There was some lagging issues, which makes me believe that this card is not specified high enough to be able to run those kind of applications. Honestly, I would probably go ahead and just use this for your other devices and buy a more extreme SD card. I've been able to, with drones and whatnot that I've been able to use a SD card that I'm able to stream directly from this card to the laptop and view those videos without lagging issues. I just don't think that this card is qualified for this camera, but it did come free with the box. I will take it. It does come with the tool to pry the plastic pieces, plastic trim around your windshield to be able to push the wiring in there if you want to do that. I would not ever do that with this cord, for the main reason is that this cord is going to take up one of your power outlets. I would prefer, if I was going to hardwire it in, I would tie it in permanently somewhere else. I just would not try to hide this cord. I would use this cord for cases where I don't mind the cord being seen. I just want to have the ability to move this camera from vehicle to vehicle, and that's how I'd use this cord. Well, that concludes the unboxing. We'll show you the videos and how they look, and show you how these lenses here appear on video. But until next time, this is part one. We'll show you the rest of it later.